Hey guys, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Chelsea want to make a Premier League rule change, and could we see a transformation in our defence? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. I genuinely hope that on this difficult international break, boy, they keep coming and not offering so much excitement. Can be a nice break, but also I do miss Chelsea, especially when we were getting some form, some cohesion, and looked like things were developing well. But it's okay, mate. It's okay, because we can still harness the good positive feeling. Look at what's being said about Chelsea here on Chelsea News. So thanks for joining me. I'm trying a little bit further away in terms of the angle now, so you can see more of me. You lucky little blighters, mate. So thank you for joining me. If you want to support the content, consider liking. Who knows? Sharing? Does people share videos anymore in this modern age and these uncertain times? Do you share videos? We'll find out. Alright, mate, I do want to speak about two things, like I've said. We'll speak about the rule change in just a moment, because there's a bigger, philosophical question here that I'm not, am I sure about how I feel? I guess I'm going to kind of talk about it out loud and see if my current of opinion sort of comes out, if that makes sense, if that's even English. But I do want to speak about Chelsea's defence first, because Axel Disasi and Benoit Badiashile have been talking on the Chelsea website in an interview. Of course, Disasi was purchased in the summer when Wesley Fofana broke his leg. He's played every single game so far. Disasi scored on his debut, got a bit wobbly, then found some form. And of course, Benoit Badiashile, the other centre-back, the other French centre-back we bought from Monaco, has been out injured since pre-season and is now looking to be ready. And could we see, if Levi Colwill stays at left-back, which is something that needs to be discussed long-term as well, could we see the centre-back partnership just being the French Monaco boys moving forwards? Because eventually, Thiago Silva has to slow down, right? And so we'll talk about that. I just want to read a few quotes from the interview. So Disasi spoke about Badiashile, and he says, "Me and him complement each other really well. I'm perhaps more of a duels player, where he likes to receive the ball and start up attacks. But it's not a case of him being a duels, him not being a duels player. Basically, me not being a receiver of the ball. This is just how things work out. We work great together," which kind of makes sense. Chemistry in a centre-back partnership is massive. I just watched that video on YouTube from the Chelsea YouTube channel when we won the league in 2015, and they speak about JT and Cahill's chemistry. And when you have a partner where you know exactly what they're going to do, it makes the defence formidable, rather than, chopping and changing or even just playing a back three. When you play a back three, you don't need to rely on the partnerships too much, you rely on the system. But when you play a back four, centre-backs, with two centre-backs, you need to know each other, and you need to sort of inherit roles and just have that chemistry. Granted, in this new Pochettino sort of hybrid-y system, you've got a centre-back playing left-back, which can become a back three, but still, chemistry in a relationship is so, so important. Goes on to say, by playing together, you can learn how to react to things and see things a little bit better together. And that's what Badiashile said. It's one of those things that becomes easier. Of course, they played together in France a lot. They both come to Chelsea. When Disasi was approached by Chelsea, the first person naturally he called was Benoit Badiashile. He says, "I had some questions about the group," and he turned around and straight away said, "It's of really good quality." This is what Disasi is saying about when he spoke to Badiashile. "He told me about the project," here's that word again, "and even though it's a project, it's still a really good side." He also said how already he'd been convinced by the project and how everything was going well for him. I want to talk about that because clearly we've got an amazing sales pitch to these players, whether it's Enzo Fernandez, Mykhailo Mudryk, Disasi, because we're not offering stupid, it's been coined recently as Abramovich money in terms of wages. We finished 12th last season. We're not offering them silly wages, but there is this mystical project that we keep speaking to potential players about, and they come and they arrive and they're all really impressed by the project. We must have one hell of a PowerPoint presentation somewhere, and I want to see it. Get that leaked to me. I want to see it. Incredible stuff, really. So he says, since I've arrived, everything's, he says, been true. Probably talking about quality. Yeah, it's been a little bit shaky, but it is a project, and I'm in the same boat as him now, as everything I've seen from the start of the season has been really encouraging. Look, man, they are, on a slight tangent, all these players are really convinced about what's happening at Chelsea, despite perhaps on the outside, football media, football punditry, saying it's a circus, and Chelsea fans rightly being concerned. But the players seem to be happy, which I suppose is a positive in itself. But this poses a larger question. By the end of this season, are we going to see a back four of Levi Colwill keeping his place? He's played left back for England last England game. Is he just going to become a left back? He could be. I mean, I know Chelsea have often been flush with left backs, but if he's going to be really defensively resolute, and of course he's got immaculate delivery, do we just turn him into what Trent Alexander-Arnold thinks he is? Oh, it's funny. Maybe. So that means Thiago Silva's playing well. This is not a hit piece on Thiago Silva. I'm not saying he should be dropped, but brother is 39 years old. Later in the season, when there's more games in the legs, come on. I mean, eventually science would dictate this guy just can't keep going. So Trevoh Chalobah, again, has been linked to a move away to Bayern for about 25 million quid. Romano's spoken about it again. So you guys know me, I love Wes Fofana, I want to see him come back, but we'll need more centre-backs anyway, especially if Thiago and Chalobah goes, you'll need the cover. Do we just see a back four of Reece James on the right, maybe Malo Gusto, depending on if Reece James is just done out here, Colwill keeping that place at left-back, especially with Chilwell out injured long-term, and playing as a left winger sometimes. And then you just see the French Monaco boys playing together with Badiashile, left-footed centre-back on the left, Disasi, right-footed centre-back on the right. They've already talked about how they know each other, how they, know each other's chemistry. And do you know what? It makes me think. Two centre-backs that complement each other, different in profile, same nationality, playing under Pochettino. It makes you think of Vertonghen and Alderweireld. Or it makes me think of Vertonghen and Alderweireld. They were the best centre-back partnership, I think, for a certain period in the Premier League, playing under Pochettino for Tottenham. And of course, they were, for a few years, when Belgium were ranked number one in the world, they had just such a good team. So good, it was them two in front of Courtois, and then you've got attacking midfielders, or you got midfielders of Kevin De Bruyne and Hazard behind inform Lukaku or whatever. Superb, really. But I wonder if that will do us good long term, just having that centre-back partnership of those two French internationals. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Maybe it could be a back four of Colwill, them two, and Reece James. I do worry about Reece James. I say Malo Gusto. Because quickly on a tangent, I said this on my Instagram, and if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's @FootballYannick. I'm very active on there as a social media platform if you want to see a bit more casual Yan. @FootballYannick. I said about asking for examples of players that are amazing talents that perhaps get to sort of early mid-20s and encounter recurring, worrying injury problems, and then overcome that entirely and realise their potential and continue to become greats with just a normal injury record beyond. Now I'm thinking about Reece James, because I'm really worried about Reece James. Is there an example of a player like Reece James that, won the Champions League, everyone was like, he's well good, has a recurring injury problems for 18 months, but then rehabilitates and is just great forevermore? Because I can't think of any examples off the top of my head, which has me worried. So comment down below if you can give me an example of a player like that who's endured that kind of injury record, but then evolved and rehabilitated and then, went on to just have a really good career with just a normal injury record. So let me know that. Let's move on. All right, so this is a big question. Unsurprisingly, American ownership, probably all ownership, but certainly American ownership, want to end the 3 p.m. blackout in the United Kingdom. And of course, a massive, apparently the Chelsea owners, Bowley and Iqbali, want to do that as well. Now, this doesn't surprise me. I would have been certain, I would have put the farm on them having this state of, or this opinion as they were buying Chelsea. It was always reported that they believe the Premier League's really undervalued. The Premier League can make way more money, and this is a massive part of it. Now, we're being a bit careful here. You're not supposed to be able to watch 3 p.m. games if you live in the UK. Now, you probably noticed I talk about 3 p.m. games sometimes when I do complete breakdowns. People watch 3 p.m. games. Now, it's the 3 p.m. blackout, I believe. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, because I've always told this story, but I'm happy to be corrected. That it's to do with, because there's so many football clubs in the United Kingdom, you know, football culture, football leagues, non-leagues. It's like, for a small country, it's got like a mind-boggling amount of football clubs that represent communities and this, that, and the other. And the kickoff, generally the holy kickoff time for English football is 3 p.m. So on a Saturday. So the idea is you don't televise 3 p.m. Premier League games, so people go and watch, you know, their local team and pay money into the sort of economy of non-league football and stuff like that, rather than just sitting at home and watching, you know, Man City or Chelsea's Galacticos, do you know what I mean, play. Now, I'm pretty sure that's the reason. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but regardless, there's just been this 3 p.m. blackout rule that in the United Kingdom we've all accepted for many, many years. Now, if you live in America, you can just buy a package and watch all the football. Now, I would happily and gladly, if there was a package now that just, you know, watch, because the thing is, I get the incentive, and I don't want to be someone, look, stop the blackout. There it is. There's my opinion. Because people watch the football anyway. It's so accessible now. It's so accessible. It's crazy. So make it legally accessible and put the money down into the non-league clubs from there, like trickle some down structurally. Because at least then the people who are watching it for free will probably, a lot of them will be happy. I'd happily pay for it. I could friggin' expense it. I work in football, do you know what I mean? Like I could, not everyone could do that, but I'm an example of someone who's like, yeah, I'll just pay for it. Give me a reliable service that I can watch every single game, you know, and then you can get loads of jobs, punditry, analysts of the 3 p.m. kickoffs, you know, whether it's like a freaking Sky Sports or TNT or DAZN or just someone do it! Everyone will make more money, structure in a way where non-league clubs or the other clubs in the football pyramid get more money to trickle down. Look, man, the thing is, I know it's a nice idea, but the fact is how we're the country with Premier League. Our country is the country with the Premier League football, and we're not even allowed to ruddy watch it, is laughable. Like, you know, my American friends just think it's a joke. You know, they're like, yeah, we're watching every single game, mate, and you can't watch it. Yeah, you know, I understand if I'm correct about the original incentive, the idea, but it's, you know, it's just this prehistoric perception now. More money can be made, and ultimately more money can be distributed. It will eventually stop. I'm certain of it. Eventually, I just can't get this frame right. There you go. Eventually, it will stop, dude. It will. It has to. Like, it won't stay. I mean, it is. Maybe it won't because it's mind-boggling how it stayed with us for this long. But the fact how everyone is watching the 3 p.m. kickoffs, so many people are. That has to be why it's untenable to not have the service anymore, because it's there anyway. You know, granted, like maybe 10 years ago, streaming wasn't as rife, and yeah, it still made sense. But now it's just like the digital age is all consuming, and everyone's watching football. So make it available and make money out of it. Make jobs, give punditry jobs, you know, all the production stuff and staff on match days, and you know, let people pay subscription fees and do all-in-one packages. And yes, do all-in-one packages. Do what is it Peacock in America or MPC? I don't know. They've got their own like, all-inclusive ones. So it doesn't surprise me at all that the Chelsea owners that want to do it. Yes, but apparently it's going to... I'm reading an article now, sorry, while I'm pausing. Apparently it's going to be for a few more years. But look, I wanted to put my opinion out there on it. I guess I always did feel this way, but I wanted to be mindful of the original reasons it was put in place. Let me know what you think, man. Okay? Comment down below. Let me know what you think of the 3 p.m. blackout and the Chelsea owners wanting to make more money out of the Premier League. They said this when they came in. They believe the Premier League's massively undervalued, not just for them and Chelsea. They did believe Chelsea could make much more money, but they believe all Premier League clubs, especially the big clubs, should, and they should band together, which is fine. It's businessmen, innit? So yeah, let me know what you think of that. Let me know what you think of the defence with Disasi and Badiashile, if you think that could be the sort of short-term, long-term centre-back partnership. Don't forget about my boy Wes. Oh. That shouldn't have happened. Right, let me know what you think. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for supporting the content. You're welcome to subscribe if you want to and join the gang. And thank you for liking the video. Follow me on Instagram @FootballYannick. And I will see you hopefully very, very soon, friends. Peace.